Hello, my name is Adrienne Mckenna. I go to New Orleans Military and Maritime Academy, and for my final project on the house on Mango Street, I will be reading 7 of the most important chapters in the novel. Thanks for listening. Our first chapter will be Our Good Day. If you give me $5, I will be your friend forever. That's what the little one tells me. $5 is cheap since I don't have any friends except Kathy, who is only my friend till Tuesday. $5. $5. She's trying to get somebody to chip in so they can buy a bicycle for this kid named Tito. They already have $10 and all they need is 5 more. Only $5, she says. Don't talk to them, says Kathy. Can't you see they smell like a broom? But I like them. Their clothes are crooked and old. They are wearing shiny Sunday shoes without socks. It makes their bald ankles all red. But I like them, especially the big one who laughs with all her teeth. I like her even though she lets the little one do all the talking. $5, the little one says. Only 5. Kathy is tugging my arm, and I know whatever I do next will make her mad forever. Wait a minute, I say, and run inside to get the $5. I have $3 saved, and I take 2 of Nenny's. She's not home, but I'm sure she'll be glad when she finds out we own a bike. When I get back, Kathy is gone like I knew she would be, but I don't care. I have 2 new friends, and a bike too. My name is Lucy, the big one says. This here is Rachel, my sister. I'm her sister, says Rachel. Who are you? And I wish I could say my name was Cassandra or Alexis or Maritza, anything but Esperanza. But when I tell them my name, they don't laugh. We come from Texas, Lucy says and grins. Her was born here, but me, I'm Texas. You mean she, I said. No, I'm from Texas, and doesn't get it. This bike is 3 ways ours, says Rachel, who is thinking ahead already. Mine today, Lucy's tomorrow, and yours day after. But everybody wants to ride it today because the bike is new, so we decide to take turns after tomorrow. Today, it belongs to all of us. I don't tell them about Nenny just yet. It's too complicated, especially since Rachel almost put out Lucy's eye about who was going to get to ride it first. But finally, we agreed to ride it together. Why not? Because Lucy has long legs, she pedals. I sit on the back seat, and Rachel is skinny enough to get up on the handlebars, which makes the bike all wobbly as if the wheels are spaghetti. But after a bit, you get used to it. We ride faster and faster, past my house, sad and red and crumbly in places, past Mr. Benny's grocery on the corner, and down the avenue, which is dangerous. Laundromat, drugstore, windows and cars and more cars, and around the block back to Mango. People on the bus wave. A very fat lady crossing the street says, You sure got quite a load there. Rachel shouts, You got quite a load there too. She is very sassy. Down Mango Street we go. Rachel, Lucy, me. Our new bicycle. Laughing the crooked ride back. Our next chapter is laughter. That rhymes. Nenny and I don't look like sisters. Not right away. Not the way you can tell Rachel and Lucy, who have the same fat popsicle lips like everybody else in their family. But me and Nenny, we are more alike than you would know. Our laughter, for example. Not the shy ice cream bells giggle of Rachel and Lucy's family, but all of a sudden and surprise, like a pile of dishes breaking. And other things I can't explain. One day we were passing a house that looked In my mind, like houses I had seen in Mexico. I don't know why. There was nothing about the house that looked exactly like the houses I remembered. I'm not even sure why I thought it, but it seemed to feel right. "Look at that house," I said. "It looks like Mexico." Rachel and Lucy look at me like I'm crazy. But before they can let out a laugh, Nanny says, "Yes, that's Mexico, all right." That's what I was thinking exactly. Our next chapter is Marin. Marin's boyfriend is in Puerto Rico. She shows us his letters and makes us promise not to tell anybody they're getting married when she goes back to Puerto Rico. She says he didn't get a job yet, but she's saving the money she gets from selling Avon and taking care of her cousins. Marin says that if she stays here next year, she's going to get a real job downtown, because that's where the best jobs are. Since you always get to look beautiful and get to wear nice clothes and can meet someone in the subway who might marry you and take you to live in a big fat house far away. But next year, Louie's parents are going to send her back to her mother with a letter saying she's too much trouble. And that is too bad because I like Marin. She is older and knows a lot of things. She is the one who told us how Davy the baby's sister got pregnant, and what cream is best for taking off mustache hair. And if you count the white flecks on your fingernails, you can know how many boys are thinking of you. And lots of other things I can't remember now. We never see Marin until her aunt comes home from work. And even then, she can only stay out front. She is there every night with the radio. When the lights in her aunt's room goes out, Marin lights a cigarette, and it doesn't matter if it's cold out, or if the radio doesn't work, or if we've got nothing to say to each other. What matters, Marin says, is for the boys to see us and for us to see them. And since Marin's skirts are shorter and her eyes are pretty, and since Marin is already older than us in many ways, the boys who do pass say stupid things like, "I am in love with those 2 green apples you call eyes. Give them to me, why don't you?" And Marin just looks at them without even blinking and is not afraid. Marin, under the streetlight, dancing by herself, is singing the same song somewhere, I know. Is waiting for a car to stop, a star to fall, someone to change her life. Our next chapter is the first job. It wasn't as if I didn't want to work. I did. I had even gone to the Social Security office the month before to get my Social Security number. I needed money. The Catholic high school cost a lot, and Papa says nobody went to public school unless you wanted to turn out bad. I thought I'd find an easy job, the kinds other kids had, working in the dime store or maybe a hot dog stand. And I thought I hadn't started looking yet. I thought I might the week after next. But when I came home that afternoon, all wet because Tito had pushed me into the open water hydrant. All wet. I had sort of let him. Mama called me in the kitchen before I could even go and change. And Aunt Lala was standing there just drinking her coffee with a spoon. Aunt Lala said she had found a job for me on the Peter Pan photo finishers on North Broadway, where she worked, and how old was I, and to show up tomorrow saying that I was 1 year older. And that was that. So the next morning, I put on the navy blue dress that made me look older and borrowed money for lunch and bus fare because Aunt Lala said I wouldn't get paid until the next Friday. And I went in and saw the boss of the Peter Pan photo finishers on North Broadway, and lied about my age like she told me to. And sure enough, I started that same day. In my job, I had to wear white gloves. I was supposed to match negatives with their print, just look over at the picture and look for the same one on the negative strip. Put it in the envelope and do the next one. That's all. I didn't know where these envelopes were coming from or where they were going. I just did what I was told. It was really easy. And I guess I wouldn't have minded it, except you got tired after a while, and I didn't know if I could sit down or not. And then I started sitting down only when the two ladies next to me did. After a while, they started to laugh and came up to me and said I could sit down when I wanted to. And I said I knew. When lunchtime came, I was scared to eat alone in the company lunchroom with all those men and ladies looking. So I ate real fast standing in one of those washroom stalls and had a lot of time left over. So I went back to work early. But then break time came, and not knowing where else to go, I went into the coat room because there was a bench there. I guess it was time for people to go to the night shift or middle shift to arrive, because a few people came in and punched the time clock. And an older Oriental man said hello, and we talked for a while about my just starting. And he said we could be friends, and next time to go in the lunchroom and sit with him. And I felt better. He had nice eyes, and I didn't feel so nervous anymore. Then he asked if I knew what day it was. And when I said I didn't, he said it was his birthday, and would I please give him a birthday kiss. I thought I would, because he was just so old, and I was about to put my lips on his cheek. He grabs my face with both hands and kisses me so hard on the mouth and doesn't let go. Our fourth chapter is Papa Who Wakes Up in the Dark. Or Papa Who Wakes Up Tired in the Dark. Your abuelito is dead, Papa says early one morning. Está muerto. And just as if he heard, and then as if he had just heard the news himself, crumples like a coat and cries. My brave Papa cries. I've never seen Papa cry, and I don't know what to do. I know he will have to go away, and that he will take a plane to Mexico. All the uncles and aunts will be there, and they will have a black and white photo taken in front of the tomb with flowers, shaped like spears in a white vase, because this is how they send the dead away in that country. Because I am the oldest, my father has told me first. And now it is my turn to tell the others. I will have to explain why we can't play. I will have to tell them to be quiet today. My papa, his dark, thick hands and thick shoes, who wakes up tired in the dark, who combs his hair with water, drinks his coffee, and is gone before we wake, today is sitting in my bed. And I think if my own papa dies, what I would do. I hold my papa in my arms. I hold and hold and hold him. Our sixth chapter is Sally. Sally is the girl with eyes like Egypt and nylons the color of smoke. The boys at school think she's beautiful because her hair is shiny black like raven feathers, and when she laughs, she flicks her hair back like a satin shawl over her shoulders and laughs. Her father says to be this beautiful is trouble. They are very strict in his religion. They're not supposed to dance. He remembers his sisters and is sad. Then she can't go out. Sally, I mean. Sally, who taught you to paint your eyes like Cleopatra? And if I roll a little brush with my tongue and chew on it to a point and dip it in the muddy cake, the one in the riddle-lead box, will you teach me? I like your black coat and those shoes you wear. Where did you get them? My mother says to wear black so young is dangerous. But I want to buy shoes just like yours. Like your black ones made out of suede. Just like those. And one day, when my mother's in a good mood, maybe after my next birthday, I'm going to ask to buy the nylons too. Cheryl, who was not your friend anymore, not since last Tuesday before Easter, not since the day you made her ear bleed, not since she called you that name and bit a hole in your arm and you looked as if you were going to cry, and everyone was waiting and you didn't. You didn't, Sally. Not since then. You don't have a best friend to lean against the schoolyard fence with, to laugh behind your hands at what the boys say. There was no one to lend you her hairbrush. The stories the boys tell in the coat room, they're not true. You lean against the schoolyard fence alone with your eyes closed, as if no one was watching. As if no one could see you standing there, Sally. And what do you think about when you close your eyes like that? And what do you always have to go straight home after school? You become a different Sally. You pull your skirt straight. You rub the blue paint off your eyelids. You don't laugh, Sally. You look at your feet and walk fast to your house you can't come out from. Sally, do you sometimes wish you didn't have to go home? Do you wish your feet would one day just keep walking and take you far away from Mango Street? Far away, maybe your feet would stop in front of a house. A nice one with flowers and big windows and steps for you to climb up 2 by 2 upstairs where a room is waiting for you. And if you opened the little window latch and gave it a shove, the windows would swing open and the sky would come in. There'd be no noisy neighbors watching, no motorcycles and cars, no sheets and towels and laundry, only trees and more trees and plenty of blue sky. And you could laugh, Sally. You could sleep and wake up and never have to think who likes you and who doesn't like you. You could close your eyes and you wouldn't have to worry what people said because you never belonged here anyways. And nobody could make you sad and nobody would think you're strange because you like to dream and dream. And no one could yell at you if they saw you out in the dark leaning against a car, leaning against someone without someone thinking you are bad, without someone saying it is wrong, without the whole world waiting for you to make a mistake when all you wanted, Sally, was to love and to love and to love. And no one could call that crazy. Our final chapter is The Monkey Garden. The monkey doesn't live there anymore. The monkey moved to Kentucky and took his people with him. And I was glad because I couldn't listen to any more of his wild screaming at night. I couldn't listen any more to his wild the twangy yakety yak of the people who owned him. The green metal cage, the porcelain tabletop, the family that spoke like guitars. Monkey, family, table, all gone. And it was then we took over the garden we had been afraid to go into when the monkey screamed and showed its yellow teeth. There were sunflowers big as flowers on Mars, and thick coxcomb bleeding the deep red fringe of theater curtains. There were dizzy bees and bow-tied fruit flies turning somersaults and humming in the air. Sweet, sweet peach trees, thorn roses and thistle and pears, weeds like so many squinty-eyed stars, and brush that made your ankles itch and itch until you washed with soap and water. There were big green apples as hard as knees, and everywhere the sleepy smell of rotting wood, damp earth, and dusty hollyhocks, thick and perfumey, like the blue-blonde hair of the dead. Yellow spirals ran when we turned rocks over, and pale worms, blind and afraid of light, rolled over in their sleep. Poke a stick in the sandy soil, and a few blue-skinned beetles would appear. An avenue of ants, so many crusty ladybugs. This was a garden, a wonderful thing to look at in the spring. But bit by bit, after the monkey left, the garden began to take over itself. Flowers stopped obeying the little bricks that kept them from growing beyond their paths. Weeds mixed in. Dead cars appeared overnight like mushrooms. First one, and then another. Before you knew it, the monkey garden became filled with sleepy cars. Things had a way of disappearing in the garden, as if the garden itself ate them, or as if with its old man memory, it put them away and forgot them. Nenny found $1 and a dead mouse between 2 rocks and a stone wall where the morning glories climbed. And once when we were playing hide and seek, Eddie Vargas laid his head beneath a hibiscus tree and fell asleep there like a Rip Van Winkle until somebody remembered he was in the game and went back to look for him. This, I suppose, was the reason why we went there. Far away from where our mothers could find us. We and a few old dogs who lived inside the empty cars. We made a clubhouse once on the back of that old blue pickup. And besides, we liked to jump from roof to roof of one car to another and pretend they were giant mushrooms. Somebody started the lie that the monkey garden had been there before anything. We liked to think the garden could hide things from us for 1,000 years. There, beneath roots of soggy flowers, were the bones of murdered pirates and dinosaurs. The eye of a unicorn turned to coal. This is where I wanted to die, and where I tried one day, but not even the monkey garden would have me. It was the last day I would go there. Who was it that said I was getting too old to play games? Who was it I didn't listen to? I only remember that when the others ran, I wanted to run too. Up and down and through the monkey garden, fast as the boys, not like Sally who screamed if she got her stockings muddy. I said, "Sally, come on," but she wouldn't. She stayed by the curb talking to Tito and his friends. "Play with the kids if you want," she said. "I'm staying here." She could be stuck up like that if she wanted to, so I just left. It was her own fault, too. When I got back, Sally was pretending to be mad. Something about the boys having stolen her keys. "Please give them back to me," she said, punching the nearest one with a soft fist. They were laughing. She was too. It was a joke I didn't get. I wanted to go back with the other kids who were still jumping on cars, still chasing each other through the garden. But Sally had her own game. One of the boys invented the rules. One of Tito's friends said that you can't get the keys unless you kiss us. And Sally pretended to be mad at first, but she said yes. It was that simple. I don't know why, but something inside me wanted to throw a stick. Something wanted to say no when I watched Sally going into the garden with Tito's buddies all grinning. It was just a kiss, that's all. A kiss for each one. So what? She said. Only how come I felt angry inside? Like something wasn't right. Sally went behind that old blue pickup to kiss the boys and get her keys back, and I ran up 3 flights of stairs to where Tito lived. His mother was ironing shirts. She was sprinkling water on them from an empty pop bottle and smoking a cigarette. Your son and his friends stole Sally's keys, and now they won't give him back unless she kisses them, and right now they're making her kiss them, I said, all out of breath from the 3 flights of stairs. Those kids? She said, not looking up from her ironing. That's all? What do you want me to do? Call the cops? She said, and kept on ironing. I looked at her a long time, but couldn't think of anything to say, and ran back down the 3 flights of stairs to the garden where Sally needed to be saved. I took 3 big sticks and a brick and figured this was enough. But when I got there, Sally said go home. Those boys said leave us alone. I felt stupid with my brick. They all looked at me as if I was the one that was crazy and made me feel ashamed. Then I don't know why, but I had to run away. I had to hide myself at the other end of the garden, in the jungle part, under a tree that wouldn't mind if I laid down and cried a long time. I closed my eyes tight, like stars, so that I wouldn't. But I did. My face felt hot. Everything inside hiccuped. I read somewhere in India there are priests, who will stop their heart to beating. I wanted to will my blood to stop, my heart to quit its pumping. I wanted to be dead, to turn into the rain. My eyes melt into the ground like 2 black snails. I wished and wished. I closed my eyes and willed it, but when I got up, my dress was green, and I had a headache. I looked at my feet in their white socks and ugly round shoes. They seemed far away. They didn't seem to be my feet anymore. And the garden, that had been such a good place to play, didn't seem mine either. Woo! Thank you for listening. Bye.